Living alone rarely starts with a dramatic crash. It usually begins quietly. One less voice in the hallway, one less chair pulled out at the dinner table. It's a slow accumulation of subtle absences that eventually become your new normal. When that quiet settles in, a specific narrative often takes root. You start to view this isolation as a permanent state, a personal failure, or a void you are trapped inside. Because this emotion is so abstract, we rely on physical metaphors to try and explain the ache. We call it a cold blanket that chills us to the bone, or a silent scream of desperation that no one else can hear. At first, the silence feels peaceful, but the absence of external noise is often deafening. Without the friction of other people's schedules, that silence acts as an echo chamber, bouncing your own uninvited memories and hidden anxieties right back at you. Our immediate human instinct is to run from this feeling. We fill the space with background noise or scroll endlessly on our phones. This constant flight from emptiness often prevents a necessary psychological confrontation. The very void we spend so much energy trying to avoid, or fill with distractions, is the primary requirement for discovering our true identity. To understand how this works, we can look at a foundational rule of visual art and design, the concept of negative space. In this diagram, negative space serves as a deliberate boundary. It defines the primary subject by establishing what is not there. The highlighted boundaries of the empty space guide the eye to the central silhouette, stripping away visual distractions to reveal a hidden form. Screenwriters use this exact framework. In scripts, the most revealing character moments happen in silent scenes, where physical actions and body language carry the narrative weight. When you live alone, you are experiencing negative space in your own life. You have physically removed the audience from your daily existence. The immediate psychological effect of losing that audience is jarring. You stop adjusting your habits to accommodate a roommate or a partner. You stop performing. No one notices what time you wake up or if you listen to the same song 3 times in a row. Stripping away the external audience removes the layers of social compromise, revealing the true, unedited self hiding underneath. This deliberate use of quiet is central to an ancient Eastern concept known as mauna. Mauna is the practice of intentional silence, where an individual converts the energy normally used for speaking into spiritual energy. There's a parable about a restless prince who had wealth and status, but suffered from a mind plagued by constant, overwhelming noise. Desperate for peace, he sought out a wise monk in a forest. The monk gave him a specific prescription: stay in the monastery for 21 days and remain silent. The goal was to force a necessary confrontation with his own internal chatter. Over those 3 weeks, the prince's perception of time warped. Without conversations to anchor his schedule, the hours stretched out. Simple, mundane tasks, like making a bed or cooking a single meal, transformed into profound acts of resilience. Enduring that long period of initial discomfort ultimately transmutes restless energy into a steady, focused, and profound inner strength. That transformation highlights a strict philosophical distinction between 2 concepts we often confuse: loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is a negative state of lack. It is a sense of disconnection and estrangement that feels imposed by external circumstances. In this diagram, solitude appears as a positive state of inner richness. It is something we choose, cultivate, and protect, a state where we provide ourselves with sufficient company. In this state, the individual acts as their own compassionate, accountable witness. You notice when you're tired or when you're avoiding a hard truth, and you address it with honest introspection. This quiet chapter of growth happens without an audience. It represents a necessary transition rather than a permanent destination. Silence is the presence of peace. The negative space in life allows your true self to finally come into focus.